say. So let me start recording. Yeah, I'm recording as well.
Good, cool, nice. So you're in Turkey, right?
Yeah, I'm located in Turkey, but I'm not Turkish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Should I introduce myself?
No, there's no. It's not like a podcast. You don't have to worry about it being.
I know. I read the things that you sent me. Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, yes, I thought that it was. It's gonna be like an interview, but then I noticed. But yeah, and your page name is 10K friends, something like that. So it's like a friendly chit-chat or conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I guess what's your background?
I was born and raised in Iran, Tehran, and
oh, cool.
Actually, the way that I came across with your page from the page of Mustafa Watches Movies.
Oh, cool.
He's Iranian. I follow him, and I saw that. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the background sound.
That's all right.
It's Islamic countries, yeah. Yeah, and I came across and I thought, wow, it's a cool idea that you have made this page and you are communicating with 10K. That's a big number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, yeah, I would be glad to meet this person, and I would like to get to know you as well. So I was born and raised in Tehran. I am 36 years old. I just turned 36 like 28th of June. I don't know, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And 5 years ago, and I thought with myself that my story is worth to be heard. I think my story, I don't say I have the best story of all time, no, but for myself, it was a huge journey, immigration, coming to Turkey without knowing anybody, alone. At first, it was very scary, but it turned out to be perfect for me. And 5 years ago, 5 or 6, it was 2016, that suddenly out of the blue, I decided to come to Turkey. One of my relatives here told me that you can come here. He gave me some solutions, some ways that you can use this, you can use that. So I said, why not? At first, I thought I'll give it a shot and we will see what will happen. But back of my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I knew that that's gonna be forever. So I farewelled everyone. I said goodbye to all my relatives, my uncles, I don't know, my aunts and everybody. I said goodbye. Maybe we don't see each other again.
Yeah.
And so I decided I came here as a refugee, by the way. Yeah, but of course my life is not like the refugees that they show on TV. I'm an English teacher here. I have a good life. I have good, paychecks, good salary. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
So at first it was very scary. It was very hard. And if I don't want to go in details a lot, but I had problems in Iran because I was Christian. I converted, and that's why. And I'm sure that you have heard about Iran and the situation in Iran, but right now the government, the regime and stuff, I don't want to go that way. But so I decided to improve my life in Christianity, in everything, in my job, sociality, everything. I wanted to be better, so I decided to come here. And at first, as I said, it was very scary. I didn't know anybody here. Just by some communities through the church, I could meet some Iranian, some Persian-speaking people. And step by step, I got used to it. That the first year was, how can I say, like very, very hard. I'm looking for a strong word. It was awful the first year. I had the thought of going back to Iran, but I said, no, you have to wait. You started something, and the end will be beautiful. I believed it at the bottom of my heart. So I stayed, I burned everything, I tolerated the situation, the bad situation. I remember the time that I didn't have a house, I had to sleep in my workplace, thanks to my employer. He let me stay there. I had some cheap jobs, you know, I don't know what's the English word for that, low, you understand what I mean, like not good jobs. And I had to because I didn't know any Turkish. And if you want to come and live in Turkey, the first thing that you need to do is learning Turkish, because their English is awful. They don't know English. I remember the first night that I was in Turkey. I was at the airport. I went to the information, and there was a man there, and I said, "Excuse me, can you speak English?" And he said, like, he was like, "Yes." And I thought, "Oh my God, thank God, here's a good place. He knows English very well." Then I started explaining. I had to go to toilet, for example, to restroom. I want to move my luggage here. Can you take a look at? Then after a few seconds, I noticed he was looking at me like, um, uh, a little English. Like, it was like that. I was, oh my God. I could make him understood. And yes, after I came here, I noticed that no one knows English here. Just a few people. Just a few people. And when you find someone that knows English, you must stick to him or her. You know, but actually, I am living in a small city. I've heard that bigger cities are better, like Istanbul, Ankara. Next week, I'm gonna be in Istanbul. The people know English more there, but as you know, in general, generally talking, I've heard from them, from themselves, that they say this educational system about English is not very good in Turkey. So I remember the time when I tried to speak English in my classes most of the time, and there were some complaints that Freddy is speaking English and we don't understand anything. And I said, "Wow, come on, this is how you can learn English. If I speak Turkish or Farsi, you don't understand Farsi. So if I speak Turkish, how are you gonna learn English? This is how I learned in Iran. My teachers, they spoke English all the time." Yeah, so here I am right now. It's been like 4 years that I have been teaching here. My life has become so much better, thank God. And I'm satisfied with the situation. But I'm thinking about going to the third country, and most likely it's going to be Australia, because one of my dreams is to live in a speaking English country, a place where people speak English. I can communicate. First of all, I love speaking English, even though I know Farsi. If I see an Iranian and if I know that person knows English, I would speak English with him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't know, I was into American culture since I was 13. I watched American movies. I was into rock and metal, Metallica, for example, my idol when I was 13. Yeah, maybe it's because of that. That's why I even have, my dreams are in English. Yeah, not in my own language. Yeah, this is it was one of my dreams to learn English, not to become an English teacher, but it turned out that I can teach English and I can earn money through teaching. So here I am, yeah, and I hope I can be in Australia next year. Maybe next year I sent you a message and I tell I'm in Australia and I would like to have another chat with you. I don't know. Yeah. I hope.
That's awesome. So you've been in Turkey for 4 years now. What month of what year did you arrive?
It was the late 2016. I remember that after 2 months, it was New Year's Eve. So
okay.
Yeah, you do the math.
Yeah.
But it was the end of 2016. Yeah.
I see. That actually just reminds me, I think one of the girls I talked to from Iran was telling me they follow a different calendar, right?
Yes, in Iran.
Or it's like-
That is why I was thinking I'm not still used to the calendar that you use.
Yeah. What is it, like 1400 in your terms or
Yes,
something?
exactly. It's a special year right now in Iran.
This year currently is 1400?
1400, yes. And they say it's a special number, 1400. So it's a special. What's special about it? I don't know.
Yeah.
just a number.
And when does the new year start on that calendar?
In the beginning of the spring.
Oh, so it just turned 1400.
Yes, our New Year is in the beginning of the spring.
I see.
The second that it becomes spring, we celebrate, and there is a huge culture behind it. There is a huge meaning behind it. We say everything is new, the nature is new, everything. People, so we buy new clothes, as you do, I think. I'm not very familiar with this stuff. We buy new clothes, we clean our houses because we say everything is new. We need to start fresh. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
New start.
We do the same, and we call it spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like when you clean out your house in the spring to make sure it's like nice and neat for the summer and stuff.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really cool. So, Tehran, did you grow up in the city, or were you in like surrounding areas?
No. I was exactly not in the city center, in the east of Tehran. The place was called Tehran Pars.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood.
Okay, nice. And do you have siblings, or do you still have both your parents? What's your family?
I have a brother. I'm 2 years older. I also have a nephew, and they all my family live in Iran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So a brother and nephew. Are your parents still around?
No. They're in Iran. They live.
I
in
mean,
Iran.
but they're still alive.
Yeah. But they're still around. Yeah, they're alive.
Yeah. That's cool. So you grew up as the older brother.
Yeah.
And what was your like? I will tell you about my childhood because I'm curious to hear the version of yours, because I think it's like growing up in two totally different countries, right? But I think the similarities are probably, there's a lot of them. But I'm interested to hear what your version. So I am from the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the northeast of the United States, and we get like all 4 seasons here. So right now we're in summer. Around September, October, it starts to cool off, and fall, and then winter, spring. But I am in the suburbs, so it's like I have like a house with a front yard and a backyard, and a pool in the backyard.
You're living my dream.
Yeah, it's the American dream. But and then like the house next to me is front yard, backyard, and across the street, and like most of us have a basketball net in our driveway. And growing up, there are a lot of kids from my block who went to I went to a Catholic school, so we all went to the same school. And like I would play basketball with if I look like right now, I can see his house. He doesn't live there anymore, but he was a grade below me. I spent countless hours in his backyard playing American football, and in his driveway playing basketball. And it was just kind of that vibe. Like I think neighborhood kids always played together. So yeah, suburbs, hanging out. So I'm curious, like, what was your childhood like?
Now that I see children everywhere, it doesn't make any difference. You're living in America, in Turkey, in Iran. The children don't go out often. When I was a kid, our parents were looking for us in the streets. Where are you? The dinner is getting cold. We were playing football in the street. We got hurt. I remember a lot of bruises, a lot of broken ankle, broken legs. This is how I grew up. When I want to tell somebody, or when I want to tell a kid that how I grew up, I say we grew up in the soil, in the garden. We were looking for worms, or I don't know, like stuff like that. When I was a kid, we lived in a big house. It wasn't an apartment. We had a yard. There was a small pond. It wasn't a pond, like a fountain lake. Yeah, it was like a fountain. There was water in it, and I remember the yard was so beautiful, and a lot of trees and flowers, and we would play in the garden, would play football in the yard. You know, it's totally different childhood we had back then, and now it's very different. And actually, and after I grew up, after I think, yeah, until high school, the last years of high school, everything was okay. Yes, after a few years, my situation was so different. I started making progress in my, in my job, in my social. So that was a good point in my life. Everything was okay, and after a few years, I came here, and actually, right now, I'm living in a small city, and I have a reputation here. Everyone knows me as an English teacher, because I say it's a very small city, and that was my childhood. In the beginning, it was good, but my actually my youth ages, my teenager, when I was a teenager, and after that, it was not very good. And I don't say I regret that. I say that would have to happen to me so that I can my tolerance is better now. I can survive. You don't believe me how many Iranian people came here. They couldn't stand the situation even for 1 month, and they went back to Iran. In the hardest situation, I could survive.
So at what point, or I guess how old were you when you converted to Christianity?
It's been like 6 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you want to switch or convert to Christianity?
I see. The answer is so long, but to cut the long story short, it helped me to be closer to God. I don't want to get in details. As I said, I think it helped me to be closer to God. And actually, it happened to me. I felt I was looking for God for so many years. Where are you? Are you still there? Are you laughing at me? Are you seeing me torturing myself and you're laughing at me? Are you satisfied? Or like this. And then when I met Christianity, it was a whole different story. And I remember, believe me or not, the first time that I went to church, I harassed them, I insulted them. And I said, oh, come on, you're like just Muslims and with better clothes, like a tie, you wear a tie, you use clones, and you look just better. They are all the same. And the reaction was so different. If you do something like that in a mosque, you're playing with your life.
Yeah.
But I was shocked by the reaction. They came to me, they were kind, they said, that's okay, everything's gonna be okay, you are the son of God. Because in the other one we were like slaves. Slave of God. What? I don't want to be a slave. It's a long story, and I'm sure if we enter to this topic, a lot of people's gonna be offended. That's why
no need
I
to
prefer
go
not to. Yeah.
I was just curious. And
are you a Christian, by the way?
I grew up Catholic, so I'm Catholic. So
but you're
yes,
not religious, I think.
I am and I'm not. I think like when I was in I went to Catholic school all the way up until college, and even in college or university, for us, we call it the same thing. I would go to mass every Sunday, and then I kind of, I guess afterwards, stepped away from going a bit, because there's like, I don't like the judgmental side of religion in general, and like for me to have these conversations, for example, like the way that I was taught in school was like, you can only go to heaven if you're Catholic, and so then it'd be like, oh, well, if I'm talking to someone who's Muslim, like their religion is wrong and mine is right. Or if I'm talking to someone who's like Buddhist, like they're wrong and I'm right. And then
This is one of the questions that I ask in the church. That are the Muslims gonna go to hell? I know a lot of good people is Muslim, and maybe they are even better than me. What's gonna happen to them?
Yeah, my parents have been doing virtual mass, and I like the community aspect that churches offer, or faith in general. But yeah, now I say I'm Catholic because I would, I guess, be more like agnostic, where I believe in a higher power. I don't know if it's exactly what I was taught growing up, and like I am happy that you see Christianity as a way to like bring you closer to God. And I'm happy that people who practice their Muslim faith see that as a way to bring them to God. So I'm just in a place where I'm like, I like when people want to be good people, and I respect that, because it's funny, if you had grown up in my town, you'd be Catholic. Like, it's just the way that it is, because you would be born in that area. And if I was born in Tehran, I'd be Muslim. So I think when I realized that, I was like, okay, it's a little more complicated than we thought, of just like choosing and being like, yeah. So
I wish it wasn't like that. I heard in a country, I don't remember which country, they said until 18 you are not allowed to choose a religion. Well, I heard that after you're 18 you can choose, because exactly that's true. What you're saying is true. You are being taught since you're a kid, and you don't know anything. Is it right? Is it wrong? Am I gonna be an ISIS? Am I gonna be a good Christian? Am I gonna be a good Muslim? Am I gonna be a good Buddhist or a bad Buddhist? You don't know anything. So I think that was a good idea to. It's very complicated. I don't know if I'm right now or wrong. No, it's very complicated.
Yeah, I honestly think it's very hard for us to understand why we exist and why we're here on Earth.
That's the point, yeah.
And it's very hard for us to, I don't know, I think faith is really interesting in general. Yeah, but yeah, I was just saying I think faith is interesting because it's a way for us to make sense of our time here as well. And I've had mine, I think, just personally tested through this project of like, not in a religious sense, but in having to believe in myself and in what I'm doing, and in the fact that I could do this as a career, because I have been doing this full time for the last 5 years. So it's kind of like my version of your English. Like, I was just doing it and learning about people and learning about how to talk to people of all different backgrounds. And now I'm able to speak and teach about it. So earlier today, before our call, I had a speech with Amazon, the company, for one of their teams, and taught them what I've learned from people. And now I'm able to make income that way. So it's like, but it took a while to believe for 5 years that there would be income coming in from what I was doing. So I had to have faith in the project.
Yeah, at first when I saw your page, I thought that was a weird idea, 10K, what's the point? But now I can see the meaning of it, you know.
Yeah, I would say that and I mean, Americans are cool. I do love my country, but also not all Americans are cool. Like, there are Americans that are like racist and stuff, or don't understand other cultures. And I mean, we have a divide within our country, especially over the last 4 years, and I kind of feel like it's healing now. But yeah, I mean, and I think every country has good people, and I think too, that's like, I'm always excited when I get to talk to someone from Iran, because I always think back to the start of last year, when it was like, it seemed like the US and Iran were going to start World War III. And it's like, everything you hear from the outside is always about war and conflict and bad stuff.
That's why I don't follow the news.
Yeah, but then everyone I talk to is like super cool, very respectful. Like we have similar childhoods of like growing up with the yard and I think not enough people know that around the world, of every single country. And it's like, that's why I enjoy talking to people so much, because it's like, you start to realize that
you see the similarities.
Yeah, Yeah.
People are not that much different. That we are told that we are different, but no, I think that's not the case. And first of all, speaking of being racist, when Iranian people talking about being racist, Americans are racist, Germans are racist, I tell them, take a look at yourself. You are the most racist people. We are the most racist people I have ever seen, because people from Afghanistan go to Iran a lot, and the way we treat them is awful. Okay, the way we treat them is awful. And I tell them, first look at yourself. And when they think, they say, oh, you're right, so we are racist as well. Or when it comes to Arab people, we say, oh, Arab people, they're dirty, we hate them. I say, isn't this racism? This is being racist. So I am racist. Iranians are racist, so I'm not allowed to talk about other people being racist. First, I must look at myself. Can I see equality between people? If yes, okay, in that case, I can judge other people, even though judgment is not for us.
Yeah. I agree. That makes me curious. Like, so for example, Canada seems to be like a brother to us. Is this the US or the UK similar? What are there countries that Iran is like, this is kind of like our friend country, or this is, and which, if so, which countries is it?
We would say some Arabian country, like what was the country? Iraq, the first one.
Okay.
Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I that's like what I was interested in, and yeah, it's cool to know that, because over here, I think it's just easy to think of like the Middle East, for example, and just kind of when we don't know like all the dynamics of in between countries. If like I didn't know, for example, that Iranians spoke Farsi until like I started like
they think we speak Arabic. They ask me, oh, do you know Arabic? Are you Arab? No, yeah, this is a common mistake.
Right. So yeah, it's just being informed by talking to people. Yeah, that's amazing. It's inspiring to hear how you went through that dark time and then have used it to become so disciplined for the future. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for talking, Freddy, and good luck with making it to Australia in the coming years.
I hope.
Let me know when you make it there.
Definitely. I'm so happy to be here. It's been always a great experience and pleasure for me to speak, especially with Americans. It has always been great and perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes.
For the great experience.
Thank you.
Yes. Take care,
man.
man.
Have a good night.
You too. You too.